Nebraska got back to work here on Tuesday. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com. It was a cold, snowy practice. The Huskers went outdoors as they get ready for a trip to Purdue. And obviously the big question still remains around the quarterback position. And we got a pretty good indication from Adrian Martinez that he's going to be the guy this week in West Lafayette.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and I'm not happy about sitting out and being hurt, but, I think it's, there's something to gain from it. It's allowed my body to recover. It's allowed me to recover, and I'm back ready to go. I feel like my arm's juiced up and everything's recuperated. I'm ready to be back and fired up.
So you expect to start this game?
Yeah, I feel physically ready and expect to go.
And in the meantime, the depth at the quarterback position has continued to get better for Nebraska. We've seen both Noah Vedral and Luke McCaffrey come up big the last few weeks.
I love their play, man. I thought they played great. Real props to Noah and Luke for just preparing. And you could see it in practice. You knew it was going to come in the game. And when Luke got in there and I heard the Luke chants, that was so cool. I was so pumped for him. So really proud of him for stepping up and playing hard. He's a tough kid.
And while Martinez is coming off of injury, both of Nebraska's other quarterbacks did go down with injuries in that game, Noah Vedral and Luke McCaffrey. And we talked to Vedral about kind of where he's at heading into this week.
I'm going to be all right. I'll be all right.
Bit of a scary moment then?
Yeah, it was just kind of awkward. Painful, but like I said, I'm going to be all right.
I'm not happy about it. Is there a question about whether you'd be able to get back in the game?
Yeah. When I was getting helped off, there's always that question, is like, what happened, what was it, and stuff like that. But our training staff does a good job at taping a little tighter, squeeze it a little more, and I was all right.
Defensively, after giving up over 350 yards passing, it's been a rough week for the Blackshirts, and we got a chance to talk to defensive coordinator Eric Shenander for the first time after Saturday's loss.
Here's what I'll tell you. I love football, I love Nebraska, and I love these kids. And I'm going to coach them as hard as I freaking can for as long as I'm here, and I hope that's for a really, really long time. And this program is going to be really, really good. We have to find a way to get it better. There's no such thing as a quick fix. I know everybody wants it. I want it. The players want it. That's not realistic. We have to build this program to where Coach Frost wants it. If that happens for the next 4 games, great. If that happens next year, that's probably not good enough for everybody, but we're going to keep pushing until we do it. But there's not one person in this building that doesn't love Nebraska.
And when Shenander goes back and looks at that game, a lot of the problems for the Huskers came on third down.
The problem was very clear. We didn't get the field on third down. We had a lot of chances. I think just about, I want to say 100% of the drives where they scored points. We had a third to medium to third to long. Bad execution, a couple bad technique errors. But we didn't get off the field on third down. That's it. Did a good job against the rush. Did a good job on second down. Didn't get off the field on third down.
Purdue comes into Saturday's game with one of the worst rushing offenses in the country. In fact, they're second to last, only ahead of Akron, which means you're going to probably see the Boilermakers use a similar game plan that Indiana used a week ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, I think, once again, you always, even with the team that's a really talented pass offense, scheme-wise and personnel-wise, you still got to stop the run first. But, when it's time to make a play in the passing game, you got to make a play.
They've done a good job of finding ways to run the football. They haven't had a ton of success, but some of that stems from they're really good at creating formations to get you in a disadvantage passing-wise. So you just got to be ready for a lot of groupings. I don't know if Rondell Moore is going to play, but you got to be ready in case he is. David Bell's emerged as a big-time receiver. Their tight end has become a really good blocker and a really good target in the pass game. And the young quarterback can make a lot of throws. He's had some ups and downs too, but he's done a really good job. So you got to be ready for the hard part about them is you have to be ready for the whole passing attack, and then you have to be able to stop the run.
Injuries have hit the Boilermakers, just like Nebraska. Their quarterback Elijah Sindelar's out. Rondell Moore, their best player, has been out. He may return this week. But in the meantime, David Bell, a freshman receiver, has stepped up. The former 4-star had almost 200 yards receiving a couple of weeks ago against a very good Iowa defense.
Good receiver, good young receiver. He's got his hands on some balls this year, making his presence known out there. A few touchdowns. I think he's a good receiver. He's a really highly rated player. out of high school, and probably could have went to a bunch of different schools. So definitely has the respect. We understand that he had, we got this attention. He got our attention.
And finally, I mentioned it was a cold, snowy day here, but it didn't stop the Huskers from going outside. You get the sense they want to build more mental toughness, especially on these Tuesday and Wednesday practices.
Yeah, definitely. I think he said the forecast is supposed to be about 35, 36. So no better way to practice the elements when you have them. Just get you ready for it.
How did the team respond? I think in the past would it have been normal to be outside on a day like this?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't too bad out there for sure. It wasn't really windy at all. So yeah, it was good. Field was a little slick, so just everyone just getting used to the footing a little bit. But other than that, it wasn't any different than normal practice.
It's hard to tell sometimes why practice isn't good and why it's really good on Monday and Tuesday and why it's not as good on Wednesday. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. I'm sure there's a lot of factors, but everybody that walks out in that practice field, me included, we came here to Nebraska because Nebraska is about being tough. And if you're not tough enough to practice on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, we need to find somebody else, period.
The Huskers will get back at it again here on Wednesday. Reporting with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.